Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Sri Upadeshamrita. Continue to read text number 9. Vaikunta janito vara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavad vrindaranya mudarapani ramanat tatrapi govardhanaha radha kundamihapi gokulapate premamrita plavanat kuryat asya virajato giritate sevam viveki nakaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikunta, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavana, because of Krishna's Rasalila pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it is raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokula, Sri Krishna. Where then is the intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this Radha Kunda, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? Hare Krishna. So we are here continuing to read the 9th verse of Sri Upadeshamrita. So yesterday we saw what are the spiritual world and the material world. Then we discussed about Vaikunta and what are the specific qualities and attributes of Vaikunta Dham. So then we saw superior to Vaikunta is Mathura, where Lord Krishna appeared there. And we saw the differences between that Gokul, which is in the material world, and the Goloka, which is in spiritual world. So we saw some 5 differences. Then we saw superior to Mathura is Vrindavan, which is a place where Krishna performed various pastimes, childhood pastimes, which are very relishable, very sweet. And superior to Vrindavan, we saw Govardhan Hill, which is again it's a very important place for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and we see the reasons why Govardhan is superior to Vrindavan. Reasons were because Krishna lifted the Govardhan Hill, and then also Krishna tends his cows with his cowherd friends in Govardhana. Then also we see Krishna engages in loving pastimes with Srimati Radharani, so in this Govardhana Hill. So and superior to Govardhan Hill, we saw Sri Radha Kund, which is, we may say it's a birthplace of the Madhurya Rasa. Actually, when we discuss, okay, this abode is superior to the other one, it actually depends on the Rasa point of view. When we see in Rasa point of view, then we'll be able to understand. Further, we'll discuss about that. Because in other places, for example, in Mathura, Krishna, he is like childhood. So the Devaki and Vasudeva, they have their Vatsalya Bhav. It's not that there is no Madhurya Rasa or anything, but specifically in Sri Radha Kund, this Madhurya Rasa is very prominent because no other rasas it's there. Actually, only Madhurya Rasa it's been exhibited in Radha Kund. So other places in Govardhan Hill, Krishna plays with his cowherd friends. So Sakya Rasa is exhibited, and Vrindavan also we see their whole spiritual world. We see there is Shanta Rasa, Dasya Rasa everywhere. So in Radha Kund, so this Madhurya Rasa is very prominent. So that's why that love of Krishna overflows there. So that's the reason why Radha Kund is considered superior to all. So this is the point. These were the points we saw yesterday and we discussed about it. So now Srila Prabhupada is further explaining about about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rediscovers Sri Radha Kund. So we were discussing about this. We are supposed to discuss, and we'll be discussing about what are the relationships of Goswamis towards Radha Kund, and we'll be discussing about the other Vaishnava Sampradayas, not much specifically related with the Rasa and here Radha Kund, and then we'll be seeing the commentaries of our Acharyas. So here, okay. So here, first of all, Srila Prabhupada, he's explaining that in purport, Srila Prabhupada explained that this pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovering Radha Kund, it's very nicely explained in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 16, 17 and 18. So we'll be discussing something from Chaitanya Charitamrita also. So that will be very interesting to go through when we explain. That is also one thing, but when we read from the Acharyas directly, that's also much nice. So here, so this is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 17, text number 3. So I'll not be reading the Bengali shloka, so we'll just see the we'll just see the translation. So here, third verse, translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in ecstasy, but when he arrived at Arid Grama, his sense perception was awakened. So this Arid Grama is also called Arishta Grama. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that in that village, Arishtasura had been killed by Sri Krishna. So this was the pastime when Arishtasura, he was killed by Lord. That place was known as Arid Gram. Now it's been called like that, but previously it was called as Arishtagram. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know Krishna, when Arishtasura, he came to disturb the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So Krishna killed him there. And actually this was the reason for what Radha Kund appeared. There will not be discussing much about those pastimes. Simple, Arishtasura, he appeared in kind of bull form. So it's almost like cow variety. So same category. So when Krishna killed, people, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they had big feast. So celebrating Krishna, Krishna killed us, he saved us from this big demon. It's really huge. Even now when we go Goshala, when cow starts chasing us, it really it's fearsome. So, but he's a demon. He meant for killing others. So when Krishna killed him, so all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they were very happy. So then they held a big festival. So Krishna took all the feast and he was with his friends. So that time, some of his friends, he told, no, you killed a cow, you killed okay, even though it is a bull, it's, still, you are getting the offense, you are sinful, you became sinful now. So then Krishna told, no, he was a demon, so I killed him, so what is the wrong in that? But still, anyway, you have to purify yourself. To go take bath in all the holy rivers in the world. So Krishna told, no, I cannot leave Vrindavan. So then Krishna had superior intelligence. He told, okay, why I should go all the holy places? Let them all come here. So then Krishna with his food, he actually gave a punch to the ground. It became big hole. Then all the holy rivers appeared there. Then that was called as Shamakund. So then seeing Shamakund, Srimati Radharani also made her own kund. So that's called Radha Kund. So this pastime happened near the Arishtagram. So that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he arrived there, so he understood, okay, Radha Kund must be there nearby. So while there, he inquired about Radha Kund, but no one could tell him where it was. Okay, this will be discussing the verses. Okay, now we'll go to the next verse. Fourth verse. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the local people, where is Radha Kunda? No one could inform him, and the Brahmana accompanying him did not know either. So Brahmanas were there, so he also didn't know where is the Kunda. So then the Lord then understood that the holy place called Radha Kund was no longer visible. However, being omniscient, supreme personality of Godhead, he discovered Radha Kund and Shama Kund in two paddy fields. There was only a little water, but he took his bath there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he at last he came to the place where Radhakund and Shyamakund were situated. But he saw there was only little water. It was actually in a paddy field. No, it was fully covered. Now it's well developed. We could clearly see. But those times it was fully covered with bushes, paddy fields. So people they couldn't find it. Okay, where is Radhakund? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is supreme personality of God. He is called Sarvagya Bhagavan. Here it is mentioned. So he found the Radhakund and Shyamakund. There was only little water, but still he took his bath there. So then sixth verse translation. When the when the people of of the village saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking his bath in those ponds in the middle of the paddy fields, they were very much astonished. The Lord then offered his prayers to Sri Radhakunda. So people were amazed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly is taking bath in some paddy fields and he's saying this is Radhakund and Shyamakund. So they were astonished. So then further, of all the gopis, so this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu praying to the Radhakund. Of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the dearmost. Similarly, the lake known as Radhakund is very dear to the Lord because it is very dear to Srimati Radharani. So this is the reason why Radhakund is superior to the all other abodes. The reason is that Krishna likes Srimati Radharani and Srimati Radharani likes her own kunda. So, this is normal when we say, let's say, there are two friends. Let's say one friend has an enemy. Automatically, the friend's enemy becomes our enemy. It's natural, same thing. Friends, whatever friend like, so we also like the same. So that's what in Mahabharata also we see. And Krishna is telling to Arjun and other Pandavas, whomever is Arjuna's enemy, is my enemy, and whomever is Arjuna's friend is actually my friend. So this is the same thing. Srimati Radharani likes her own kunda very much. So that's why Krishna also likes that kunda. And we see the reason for what we were saying, that the actual birthplace, from the Radha Kund, the Madhurya Rasa, all the sweet mellows of love, it's emanated from there. So then, this is the verse, it's actually from Padma Purana. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is quoting in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this verse is Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnor Atyanta Vallabha. So this is the verse. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Lord Krishna, so her lake, known as Radha Kunda, is also very dear to him. Of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most beloved. So this is the verse from Padma Purana. Srila Prabhupada he's mentioning in his purport. So then further, so in that lake, Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani used to sport daily in the water and have a rasa dance on the bank. So here we see, apart from taking bath in Radha Kund, so Krishna and Srimati Radharani, they have their pastimes on the bank of Radha Kund. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, indeed, Lord Krishna gives ecstatic love like that of Srimati Radharani to whoever bathes in the lake even once in his life. So this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, the attraction of Radha Kund is as sweet as that of Srimati Radharani. Similarly, the glories of the Kunda lake are as great as Srimati Radharani's. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. So attraction for Srimati Radharani is very sweet, and similarly, the glories of the Kunda are also as great as Srimati Radharani's. So that's what we see here. Okay, so we saw here that how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he rediscovered Sri Radha Kund. So he took his bath there in that small pond, and then he told his devotees that that's the actual Radha Kund. It's situated here. So there actually, now we come to the point. I just wanted to discuss that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now he is in Vrindavan. And it was very beautiful pastime happened there, how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the place of Radha Kund. what happened? Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri. He was every day relishing the beautiful mellows of um, Radha Krishna. He was relishing the pastimes by hearing from his devotees. So, but he thought, no, now I'm relishing so much about the pastimes of the Lord. Why not I go Vrindavan? So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, okay, let me go Vrindavan. Actually, devotees, they didn't allow. Everyone, why, wherever you are staying, that's Vrindavan. Srila Narottam Das Thakur also says, Sri Gaura Mandala Bhumi, Jeba Jane Chintamani. So wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, that's Vrindavan. So then devotees told, no, anyway, wherever you are staying, that's Vrindavan, so why you want to go separately? They don't want to be separated from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, no, still, I want to visit at least once. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had a travel towards Vrindavan. So as soon as he entered the Vrindavan, all the living entities, trees, deer, and then cows, peacocks, parrots, all these living entities, they were in full of ecstasy. They thought Krishna, when Kamsa, he called Krishna, so he left Vrindavan. That same Krishna, now he is coming back again. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he entered the Vrindavan forest, so all the living entities, they were in ecstasy. So they were relishing that they just wanted to please Mahaprabhu and as much as possible, and whatever the way they can, the possible way they can please him, so they were trying to please. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he went and when he entered Vrindavan, he was also in full of ecstasy. So because anyway in Jagannath Puri, he was 24 hours, he was in thoughts of Krishna, but now he is in Vrindavan, which will remind him on Krishna in every moment and every place. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is even more blissful, even more in ecstasy, seeing Vrindavan. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in ecstasy was crying. So he saw a deer. So that deer, as soon as that saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it also became ecstatic in love of Krishna. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced the deer. So then this pastime was going on. So now why I am saying is that after this pastime, there became a very sweet pastime was there. So then after this deer, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw in a branch, he saw two parrots. One was a male parrot and one other was a female parrot. So but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that they are speaking something, they want to tell something. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went near. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came near, these two parrots actually came on the hand of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having those two parrots. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear what they say. So actually what happened was, as soon as they came in the hand of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so this male parrot, he started glorifying Krishna. So this was the verse which was chanted by that. So they say that the Swarupa, this male parrot, it's singing for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu. So this is the verse we see here. Saundaryam lalanali dairya dalanam leela ramastambini viryam kandukitadrivaryam amala pare parardham gunaha Sheelam sarva jananu ranjanam, supposed to be ranjanam, it's missing. Sheelam sarva jananu ranjanamaho yasyayam asmat prabhu vishvam vishwajanina kirtiravatad Krishna jagan mohanaha. So here, this was the verse chanted by the parrot. So it says that Saundaryam. So this verse is actually explaining about how Krishna is attracting all the living entities in this universe. So how Krishna is all attractive. The word Krishna means itself it's all attractive, but how Krishna is attracting, so that is, it's mentioned in this verse. First thing it is explained here, it's Saundaryam. So Krishna's beauty is very attractive. So to whom? Lalanali. So these are gopis of Vrindavan. So the translation is, the glorification of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beneficial to everyone in the universe. His beauty is victorious over the gopis of Vrindavan and it subdues their patience. So this was the first line of the verse. it says that Saundaryam Lalanali Dhairya Dalanam. So Krishna's beauty is incomparable. There is no comparison for Krishna's beauty. There is actually very nice incident happened that when Krishna was in Dwaraka, of course in Vrindavan, place all the floors, everything is made of, it's more natural. It's made of mud, some places it's made of, ruby, chintamani, everything it's still there, but still there are places where, Vrindavan, some places are made of dust flooring. So, but in Dwaraka we see everything is, made of beautiful gems, and it's very opulent. So when Krishna, he was walking one day, he saw he saw the ground, then his own beauty was reflected on the floor. So as soon as he saw, Krishna himself, he got amazed. Oh, am I so beautiful like this? When he started relishing that. So Krishna is very beautiful. So then, because of that beauty, all other gopis, they are attracted. So this was the first verse. So then what happens? Leela Rama Stambhini. So this is the second part of the first line. So Leela Rama Stambhini. So is that the Krishna's pastime? They astound the goddess of fortune. So whatever pastimes Krishna do, it's very much astonishing to goddess of fortune, Rama Devi, Lakshmi Devi. And this is what we see, what happened. Actually, this is what happened when Krishna performed his Rasa Leela pastime. And Lakshmi Devi, she wanted to actually participate in that. She did penance, she did tapasya to, but still she was not allowed, because the only reason was her mood, it's different. She is in Dasya Bhav, she is in Aishwarya Bhav. But in Vrindavan, the mood of rasa between Lord Krishna and gopis, they are in Madhurya Rasa. Of course, Lakshmi Devi and Narayan, they have Madhurya Rasa, but that's different. But here the mellows between Krishna and gopis, that's even more sweet, because in its Acharya says that is there are two things called Parakiya and Swakiya. So here the Parakiya Rasa is very much prominent. So that's why Lakshmi Devi, she was very much attracted to the Rasa Leela pastime. She wanted to join that, but she was not allowed, because we know the reason we discussed now. So Leela Rama Stambhini, then Viryam Kanduki Tadri Varyam Amala. So Viryam Kanduki Tadri Varyam. So this is the second line, says that his bodily strength turns the Govardhana hill into a small toy like a ball. So this Kanduki, it's a ball, Sanskrit word, Kandukita. So Adrivaryam means hill. So his Viryam, his strength, turns the Govardhana hill into a small ball. Then what happens? Amala, then it's pure. Amala pare parardham gunaha. And his spotless qualities are unlimited. So he has real, the qualities, whatever we see from the descriptions of Shastras, qualities of Krishna, it's really amazing. We cannot have the end for it. Actually, I forgot to mention that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard okay, he's hearing, we'll see further, I should not mix up. So here, he sees parrot says, his spotless qualities are unlimited. Then what he says that, Shriram Sarva Jananu Ranjana Maho, Yasyayam Asmat Prabhu. So he's saying that his behavior satisfies everyone. So then what happened? Vishwam Vishwa Janina Kirti Ravatat. So then Lord Krishna is attractive to everyone. Okay. So then that Lord, may our Lord protect and maintain the whole universe. This is the verse. So then here we see that's the verse. Vishwam Vishwa Janina Kirti Ravatat. So Lord Krishna is maintainer of the whole universe. So then such Krishna, who is very beautiful, attractive to gopis, his pastimes are really attractive even to Sri Lakshmi Devi, and he is turning the Govardhana hill into a small ball. So all these qualities. So that Krishna, who is that Krishna? So he is Jagan Mohanaha. So he is called Jagan Mohana because he attracts everyone. So this was the verse chanted by that male parrot. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he was very pleased. So then what happened? Female parrot, she what it did that she then replied, okay, you that male parrot glorified Krishna. So then female parrot it gave the reply. So what was the reply? It says Shri Radhikaya Priyata Sarupata Sushilata Nartana Gana Chaturi Gunali Sampat Kavita Charajate Jagan Manomohana Chitta Mohini. So the female parrot replied, Srimati Radharani's affection. This is the first prominent. Affection means here we can understand the devotion of Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani's affection, her exquisite beauty and good behavior, her artistic dancing and chanting, and her poetic compositions are all so attractive that they attract the mind of Krishna, who attracts the mind of everyone in the universe. So this is the reply which was given by the other one. So here first thing, the devotion. Srimati Radharani's devotion for Krishna, it's there is no words to explain it. Shastras, that's what it's explaining. And other things follow. When you have the devotion for the Lord, and whatever you do in your life, that will be for the pleasure of the Lord. And if you have the proper knowledge of the Lord, whatever we see in the world, it will be with the Shastra Chakshu, with the eyes of knowledge. So same thing, whatever, when we have the devotion, pure devotion for the Lord, all other, this good behavior and this all, it's actually pleasing to the Lord. If we don't have this attraction, affection for the Lord, and all other things doesn't make any sense. But Srimati Radharani's affection, it's very great, and all other things are also very attractive to Krishna. So such Srimati Radharani, who is she? So Krishna was called as Jagan Mohana, but here Srimati Radharani is called as Jagan Mano Mohana Chitta Mohini. So she attracts even Krishna. So that's why we saw the verse Yatha. What is that? Just 1 second. Not here. Hmm. Hmm. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnu Ratyanta Vallabha. So now you see here Srimati Radhan is most dear to Krishna. Why? Because of her devotion and because of her all activities, because of her pure devotion, Krishna is attracted by the devotion of Srimati Radharani. Then because then she became the most dear to Krishna. So because Srimati Radharani is very dear to Krishna, so her kundam, so her lake is also very dear to the Lord. So this is the thing. So we saw how the female parrot, this was the reply given by female parrot. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard this, he became really ecstatic in the love of Krishna. So then as soon as he heard this, the bhav, this ecstasy was coming out, but that exactly at that moment what happened, Srila Krishna Kaviraj Goswami explains that there was a peacock. He saw, then peacock started dancing in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the bluish neck of the peacock. Then what happened? He thought, okay, this is resembling the color of Krishna's body. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completely went into a trance. Then he became unconscious. So then there is a very beautiful description how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then further went to, then actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to find Radha Kund, and then pastime unfolded. So, but Srila Krishna Kaviraj Goswami is explaining that when Ananta, when he's starting explaining about the Lord's ecstasy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstasy, he's writing books after books, but still he's not able to complete. So then he's saying, since Ananta could not complete this work, what can I say? I'm just showing you direction. So those who want, they can go. So we can also, how much we can discuss about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstasy. So this is what we discussed. So second point here. So later the pond was excavated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees, headed first by the six Goswamis, such as Rupa and Raghunath Dasa. So here we see that later this pond was, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found it, but it was again rediscovered. All his disciples, they came, they constructed it and they renovated it. So this very important to understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his devotees that they should find, and they did it. So this is again explained by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is saying that beginning of the creation, at the beginning of creation, what happened? There was nothing much, only Lord was there, and Lord created Brahma. So Brahma was confused what to do now. So how will I create? I don't have any intelligence. So then what happened? So before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Brahma with the details of the creation and manifested the Vedic knowledge. So Lord Krishna gave the intelligence to Brahma to create this universe. So verse then says, in exactly the same way, the Lord, being anxious to revive the Vrindavana pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with the spiritual potency. By this potency, Srila Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna and Vrindavan, activities almost lost to memory. In this way, he spread the Krishna consciousness throughout the world. So this is the verse, it's explaining that. This is a very famous verse. Vrindavaniyam rasakeli vartam kalena luptam nija shakti muktaha. This again, it's a mistake. Sancharya rupe vyatanot punasa prabhur vidab prag Ivaloka Srashtim. This is the example given as Lord instructed Brahma to create. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the Shakti, he impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with the spiritual potency to find the place of Vrindavan pastimes. So this is what we see from the second line of the purport again. So we saw, so then later the pond was excavated by Chaitanya's devotee, headed by Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. Okay. So next, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Srila Rupa Goswami has given much stress to Radha Kund because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to find it. Who then would give up the Radha Kund and try to reside elsewhere? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted this because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared for this purpose. Because no other sampradaya has any of this descriptions of Madhurya Rasa, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he wanted to find this, so Rupa Goswami he found all these places. So this is actually a very important point for us to understand. Okay, so here we see that why Sri Rupa Goswami he wanted to give much stress to Radha Kund, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided, and that's the reason we saw at the very beginning of the Nectar of Instruction, even in preface we would have seen this, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted this mellows of Radha Krishna to be distributed everywhere. So Sri Rupa Goswami he understood the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. So that's why he is offered pranam Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. Manobhishtam means the desire in the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it was fulfilled by Rupa Goswami. So that's what we see here. So then here we can go further. The importance of Radha Kund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas, nor can person uninterested in devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance of divine nature of Radha Kund. So this is very important for us to understand, because the importance of Radha Kund cannot be understood by other Vaishnava Sampradaya. Why? Because we'll discuss that. We see that there are so many Vaishnava Sampradaya. For example, in South India, we have prominent Ramanuja, Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. If you go Karnataka side, we see Madhva Sampradaya. Then North India, there is Pushti Markis, Nimbarka Sampradaya, and Vishnu Swami. So these are the prominent Vaishnava Sampradayas. And everyone, they have their own rasa, own mellows, own bhav to exhibit towards the Lord. Because this is very important. Lord is Bhavagrahi Janardana, and he is Rasovai Saha Rasam Hevayam Labdhavanandi Bhavati. Lord is reservoir of all kinds of pleasure. So he relishes being a child, he loves that. being a son of Mother Yashoda and Devaki, and he relishes to play. He likes to play with his friends. So this is Krishna's pastimes. He likes to be a father, he likes to be a son, he likes to be a friend, he likes to be lover. So this Krishna, so he has all kinds of rasas. So that's the first thing we understand in our Krishna consciousness philosophy. Because there are, if you want to understand this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, so there is a first 10 prominent things we have to understand. Among these 10 things, there is one very important thing is that Amnaya Prahatatvam Harimiha Paramam Sarva Shaktim Rasabdim. So, we would have known this Dashamula Tattva. Actually, when devotees, they join Gaudiya Math. So this was the rule that they should study 2 books. It's a must. One was this Nectar of Instruction, the other was Dashamula Tattva by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So it's this 10 philosophies, it's giving the basic foundation for our Krishna consciousness movement and the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. So among those 10, we'll not be discussing all those. Just one is that Rasabdim, Sarva Shaktim Rasabdim. So Krishna is the fountain and head of all the rasas. So every devotee has his own rasa towards Krishna. Yashodama has Vatsalya rasa, and Arjuna has Sakya rasa. You see, Navavidha Bhakti, we can have for each and every bhakti we have their examples. Arjuna for Sakya, Hanuman for Dasya. So every devotee has their own loving relationship towards the Lord. It's different. We devotees, let's say we 25 people, so 25 devotees we are present here in the hall. It's not that everyone has their same relationship with Krishna. Everyone, each and every living entity, individual living entity, being part and parcel of Krishna, so they have their own individual relationship with Krishna. So same thing, Vaishnava Sampradayas also. So this is very prominent. So if you see in Ramanuja Sampradaya and Madhvacharya Sampradaya, the Dasya Bhav or mood of servitude, it's very prominent. We cannot, they don't much discuss about this Madhurya pastimes, they don't discuss much about this Vatsalya Bhav or anything. So here, these 2 Sampradayas, particularly Ramanujacharya Sampradaya, so it's very much focused on Dasya Bhav and also Madhvacharyas. It's not that these acharyas, they don't know about this rasa, they don't discuss or anything, but they just don't want to disturb their mood of serving towards the Lord. Actually, what happened when Narada Muni, he was speaking with Hanuman once, okay? Then Narada Muni was asking Hanuman, okay, who is, great, Hanuman, I know you are a great devotee, I am offering my pranams to you. Then Hanuman told, no, I am not a great devotee, you go meet Pandavas. So they are, even more great devotees than me. So then Narada became ecstatic, so I'll go meet the Pandavas. So while going, Narada was asking, okay, I'll be able to see Krishna there, right, with Pandavas. Yeah, Hanuman told you will be able to see. So then Narada called, okay, come, let's go, let's see Krishna, let's see Pandavas. Oh, then as soon as Hanuman heard that, I'm going to meet the Pandavas, he became very ecstatic. He started jumping. It's explained in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So then, just before leaving, Hanuman told, I want to see Pandavas, I want to see the Lord and everything, I want to understand about the Sakya Rasa. And but only one thing is that I cannot leave the service of Ram here. I want to do the service here. You go, you meet Pandavas, you meet Krishna, so they will, give you much information. So, but I don't want to come. So Hanuman didn't go then, because Hanuman thought, it's explained, his bhav, his mood towards Krishna, Ram, it's of service attitude. Whatever he does, it's based on that. So when we mix up these rasas, it's called rasabhas. This is what acharyas are explaining. So each and every devotee, they have their own relationship with the Lord. So they will not be mixing up. For example, Yashoda Devi can, have the relationship of mother with Krishna. But same Krishna, when he's in Narsinghadev form, she cannot have that. It will be really rasabhas. Yashoda Devi wants to have Narsinghadev on her lap. It will not be possible. It's unimaginable. So every devotee have their own rasa. So this is important. So Madhvacharya, he also didn't comment in certain sections of Srimad Bhagavatam, particularly Rasalila sections. Madhvacharya, he didn't comment on that. So same thing with Ramanujacharya also. Actually, very beautiful pastime happened with Ramanujacharya. So after he became sannyasi, he started traveling all over the world. He started preaching the glories of Vaishnava Sampradaya. So in that way, he came to Jagannath Puri. So in Jagannath Puri, what happened? He saw the Pandas or Brahmanas worshipping the Lord. So, they were worshipping, but, one point of time, Ramanuja is noticing that, this pujari is coming and, putting hand on the shoulders of Jagannath and Baladev, he's embracing them, and then puja, he's chewing pan. Ramanuja thought, what he's doing? Lord, there's no difference between the Lord and his deities, and he's putting right and royal in the hand on the Lord's body, and this is not good. They're not doing proper worship. So then Ramanuja said to his disciples, tomorrow I should teach them. Because in Sri Vaishnava, if you go to the Sri Rangam or Varadaraj temple anywhere, so you can see how the Panchratrik Vidhi, it's very much followed, they're very strict with the Lord. When Gopakumara went to Vaikunta, oh Krishna, you are sitting on the throne, I want to embrace you. But he is in Gopa form. But Krishna is in Aishwarya Bhav. Then all the guards, they stopped him. No, you cannot enter like this. No, he is my Krishna, I want to embrace him. Then Lord told, cool down my boy, this is not the place for you to embrace me. Then they explained him, no, you have to go to Goloka, not in Vaikunta. Same, Vaikunta Bhav is expressed more in Ramanuja Sampradaya. So thinking like this, Ramanujacharya thought, okay, tomorrow morning I'll teach them how to worship Lord Jagannath. So then he went for taking rest. So he woke up, then he saw he's no more in Jagannath Puri. He was in Kanchipuram near Varadaraj temple. So and then Ramanujacharya understood. Actually, what happened was Jagannath, he thought, okay, Ramanuja, he will come tomorrow morning, he will change all the methods of worship here. I don't want that. Let him go, keep all his Pancharatik Vidhi, let him keep in Kanchipuram Varadaraj temple, not here. I want to be like, close with my devotees here. So actually that's how they worship in Jagannath Puri. They see the Lord has their own brother, their own family member. It's not as a Lord, they're very much related. So that's why Jagannath didn't want to disturb his relationship with devotees in Jagannath Puri. So he transferred Ramanuja again to South India. So he established his Pancharatik Vidhi there. So this pastime happened just for us to understand that though each and every devotee they have their own rasa. So, and this is important, we saw cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas. So this again, we see this is the very much, we may say this is the great boon for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave this Madhuryasa for this Sampradaya. No other Sampradaya much worships in Madhurya Rasa. Only this Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they have this understanding of Madhurya Rasa. So that's why it's Srila Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says that Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Avatirna Kalau Samarpayitum Unnadojjvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Arihi Purata Sundara Dvitikadamba Sandipitaha Sadardaya Kandare Spuratuva Sachinandanaha. So he says in invocation that Anarpita Charim Chirat, that Supreme Lord, he appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Then he gave this the most valuable thing which no other incarnation has given, no other acharya has given. So he gave such a important thing. What is that? The message, the transcendent divine relationship of this Madhurya Rasa, this conjugal love between Krishna and Radharani. So this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave for us to understand. So this is very important. Our philosophy is very really high. But it's not that we are comparing ourselves with other Vaishnava Sampradaya. They are worshipping. Some devotees, they misunderstand this. So, for example, ISKCON devotee, they go to a Sri Vaishnava and then he is speaking Bhagavad Gita and he is saying, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then devotee, that Sri Vaishnava devotee is saying that, no, Narayan Supreme Personality. So from Narayan, Krishna came. No, he's saying, no, from Krishna, Narayan came. Sometimes it became an issue. So then it was taken to our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami. So then what happened? He told, Actually, there are so many Mayavadis, to whom we can preach and establish that Krishna is supreme. And we leave all that and we go to Shiva Vaishnavas and who is already worshipping the Lord in different form. So we don't disturb them. So they are worshipping their own way, we are worshipping in our way. Just only the rasa is different. It's not that they are we are we should see them okay, they are lower than us. They also have their rasa between the Lord. So they serve in a different mood, we serve in a different mood. That's the difference. In Madhurya Rasa we serve Krishna as we serve the Lord as Krishna. So in Dasya Bhava they serve Lord as Narayan. So that's the difference. So we should not have the misconception that Krishna, this Madhurya Rasa, only we are having. Okay, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us, but their method of worship is also, it's authorized, it's appreciable because they are also worshipping the Lord, but in different mood. But that's the speciality for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that we have this Madhurya Rasa. No other Vaishnava Sampradayas, they have this much knowledge about this Madhurya Rasa. And they don't know much information about Radhakund also. Here, South India, there are so many Sri Vaishnavas. If you go and ask them about Radhakund, they don't know much. Just because we came in contact with Srila Prabhupada, with the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, so we are able to know this. That's the special mercy. So then, this is for the Vaishnava Sampradayas, and we can understand one more thing is that not can any person uninterested in devotional service of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand. Sorry, I didn't turn on. Okay, nor can person uninterested in devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radhakund. So when we discuss this is very important. Now, unless we have the devotion for the Lord, unless we understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are not going to understand anything about Radha and Krishna. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just came to give us the supreme rasa, supreme knowledge about the conjugal love of between Radha and Krishna. So unless we understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are not going to understand anything, because Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Heyanya. So when Krishna, he wanted to relish why wanted to know why Srimati Radharani is so much relishing this devotion for me. So Krishna then he thought, okay, I also want to relish. So that's the reason Krishna himself, he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accepting the mood of Srimati Radharani. So accepting the mood of Srimati Radharani, Krishna has appeared. So then who else can tell which is more pleasing to him? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, no, Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Kalpita. So the method which gopis adopted, so that's the highest form of worship for the Lord, which exhibits in Madhuri Rasa. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, he is a sannyasi, he is a very strict sannyasi, but still he is saying, if you want to worship Krishna, follow the gopis. Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Kalpita. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. Then we don't see in other sampradayas, unless we become devotee, unless we follow, no, we are not going to understand it. Even we see from the Sikshastakam teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first 3 verse explain about the Sambandha, next few verse explains about the Abhidaya, and last 3 verse explains about the Prayojan. Last 3 verse what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying that Asrishyava Padaratam Pinashtamam Adarshana Marmahatam Karotuva Yata Tata Bhavidadhatu Lampato Matprananatastu Sayevana Paraha. The meaning is that, Lord, either you appear in front of me, or no, even if you don't appear in front of me, you embrace me or you kick me, but still you are my Prananath, you are my only Lord. So this is mood of Srimati Radharani. That's what she prayed. Always she was praying to Krishna. This is unmotivated devotional service. Some devotees we expect, Lord, no, I did this. Lord should answer for my devotion. Lord should do this. Lord should do that. No, but in what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the teachings which he gave, this thing, the motivated devotional service, it's nowhere in the picture. That's pure devotion for the Lord given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And no person, as we know, if he is a karmi, he is not going to understand. Tomorrow we'll see who are karmis, who are jnanis, and all those things will Rupa Goswami will explain. So here, that's important thing we should understand. So then, oh, one second. Okay. So again, this quote that we can remember from preface of Sri Upadeshamrita, devotees who read, they will remember. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of signs of Krishna. The most exalted of all the activities of Krishna are these pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of gopis. So Srila Prabhupada explaining. So this is important thing for us to understand where we should use it. So now another point may rise. Okay, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came, he wanted to give this rasa, he wanted us to be elevated to this madhuri rasa and everything. So but why at present we are not discussing anything, any pastimes about Radha or Krishna and this all these things? Simple, these are all meant for us. Our goal is this, to understand Radha Krishna's pastime, to relish that nectar. So this is our goal. That's what Krishna called Krishna Prema. But at present, we will not be able to understand anything. Just why? Because we are not purified sufficiently. So that's the reason. But when we follow this path, see, we can see when before saying this Asli Shiva Padaratam Pinashtamam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first he said, Chaito Darpana Marjanam. First we have to purify the heart. How? Nam Namakari Bahudani Sarva Shaktis, by chanting the holy name. Why? Because when we chant the holy name, this Nama reveals the Rupa, and Rupa reveals the Guna, and Guna reveals the Leela. Unless we chant the holy name of the Lord properly, with pure intention, we are not going to improve anywhere, because our heart is not going to be purified. Unless our heart is purified, we cannot understand the qualities of the Lord. We cannot understand the Leela of the Lord, Guna, Rupa, nothing. We are not going to understand anything. So at first, our stage, we should understand that we should chant and follow these regulatory principles given by Srila Prabhupada very strictly. Unless we do that, will not be able to purify our heart. When we purify, the time will come gradually. We'll be able to understand all these things. Krishna will reveal the knowledge. Same thing, all the devotees. Now, so many times we would have heard that when we chant properly, when we hear properly, when we serve properly, when we are getting more and more purified, so that much Krishna will, as much as we are purified, that much we'll be able to understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So when we are fully purified, so that time we can understand the highest philosophy of Krishna consciousness, which is this relationship between Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani and Radha Kund, everything. But our aim should be that we should purify ourselves, we should know all this. So that's the thing. And before going to the commentary, just I want to mention that this Radha Kunda is mainly worshipped by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas and followers of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this Radha Kund and this knowledge we get from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciples. So his disciples, who are his disciples? Direct disciples are 6 Goswamis. And again, you can remember reading the preface of Nectar of Instruction that Srila Prabhupada says that this is the beginning. Srila Prabhupada says this Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So that's why we are called Rupanugas. So the Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whom 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. So then, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bhuja Bose Jugala Priti. So the translation you would have read, when I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. So when we understand the teachings of Goswamis, then we can understand the pastimes of the Lord between Radha and Krishna. So here we see the teachings of Rupa Goswami also. First place he didn't give the description about Radha Kund, he didn't description about Srimati Radharani, anything. But first he told Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. So first we should control our senses, purify our mind. Then what we do, we start doing our devotional service. Then what happens? We start relating with the devotees properly. That's then we had the discussion of Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. So we had this discussion. Then when we are perfectly purified, then we come to the platform of understanding all these things. So unless we read Acharya's books, we cannot understand. So there was a very interesting instance happened that once devotees went to Melkote. Here there is a Sri Vaishnava temple. So in that place there are so many gurukuls, many learned scholars are there. So devotees went to see, or some books and for some research. So then what happened was that scholar, there was one very great scholar. He's really scholarly person. He knows Sanskrit, he knows everything very properly. So they were speaking with him about the Vaishnava philosophy and everything. So then what happened? While speaking, he was mentioning about this sampradaya, that sampradaya. So at one point of time, that Sri Vaishnava scholar, so what he said that, oh, no, if you want to understand the Dasya Bhav, you can understand from Shiva Vaishnava, this thing, Sampradaya. If you want to understand other devotional things, you can go to so many Vaishnava Sampradaya, they have so many literatures. But if you want to understand, he was telling to his students and many devotees, so if you want to understand the relationship between Radha and Krishna, if you want to understand the Rasa Vichar, the mellows of Madhurya Rasa, you have to read Srila Rupa Goswami's books. So Sri Vaishnava, he is a learned scholar. He is saying that because he has went through all these things. So he is saying that if you want to understand the mellows of Radha and Krishna, then we have to go read the Rupa Goswami's books. But before reading, we have to understand that we are not in that right moment, at present moment, we are not in that level. The time will come for us to understand, so then that time we can understand. But we should be aspiring for it. Patience required. So then, another thing here we should note is also that not only devotees, even karmis, they can also, when they take up to the devotional service, anyone can be purified and then they can attain, they can know about this Madhurya Rasa. But unless we are really pure, we cannot understand. Even though we may be a learned scholar in Sanskrit, I had an experience. There is a book called Chitra Kavitvani by Sri Rupa Goswami. Some might be knowing that book. So that book is very nice. It's poetic. So many things to speak on that. But at present we cannot speak of all those things. But it's really beautiful. With 2 words, Rupa Goswami compiles whole shloka. For the and ra, he compiles whole shloka. For ra and sa, he created, he wrote a whole shloka like that. So and there is formations how to understand this shloka. There are so many things which is explained in Chitra Kavitvani. But it's a real treasure for our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So I was so happy, when I read, it's very much relishable. So, but we met one Sanskrit scholar. He is also very good Sanskrit scholar. When we showed him, okay, you see the Sanskrit formation, you see the words arranged, you see the format, the designs and everything. So then he appreciated, oh, it's nice, it's very nice. And he told, oh, that's all. Okay, this was the thing. In 2 minutes, he thought, okay, that's the thing, simple thing which is it said in that book. But even one shloka we can go on explaining for so many months after months of it takes so much time for us to understand. So much we can relish. But outside he was dry philosopher. So he didn't understand, he didn't appreciate much about the book. It was okay, it's good, that's all. But it's not only good, it's topmost treasure for our sampradaya. But for him, it's simple thing. So only devotees can understand. That's what we come to know. So again, there is a very beautiful song by Srila Vasudeva Ghosh. So he says that यदि गौर न होइतो तबे की होइतो केमने धारिताम दे राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा sorry jagate janata ke. If Lord Gaura had not appeared as the Yuga avatar in this age of Kali, then what would have become of us? How could we tolerate living? Who in this universe who have ever learned about the topmost limits of loving melodies that comprise the glory of Sri Radha? Madhura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Praveshe Chaturisar Varaja Yuvati Bhavera Bhakati Shakati Hoitokar. Who would have had the power to render ecstatic devotional service that follows in the footsteps of damsels of Vraja? Indeed, the clever expertise of Vraja Gopis is a prerequisite for entering the supremely sweet forest of Vrindadevi. Gao Gao Puna Gaurangera Guna Sarala Koriyaman Ebhava Sagare Emona Doyal Nadheki Ekajan. Oh, please sing again and again of the glorious activities of Lord Gauranga. Just try to keep your heart simple. Not even one person within this ocean of nescience has ever seen such a magnanimous personality as he is. Ami Gauranga Bolia, Nagenu Galia, Kemone Dharinu De, Vasudeva Hiya Pasana Diya, Kemone Gadiyache. So even though I chant the holy name of holy name of Lord Gauranga, somehow I have still not melted in ecstasy. How then I have maintained the burden of this body? How has the creator fashioned this body with a stone in the place of Vasudeva Ghosh's heart? So this is the song which was written by Vasudeva Ghosh. So he is saying without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we cannot understand anything. So and same thing Raghunath Das Goswami says that he's actually residing in Radha Kund. No, his samadhi is still it's in Radha Kund. So but he is praying that Nirupadi Karunena Sri Sachi Nandanena Tvaikapati Shatopi Tvatpriyena Arpitosmi Iti Kalu Mama Yogya Yogyatam Mama Grishnan. So he's saying that only by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is very dear to you, I can understand you. He has given me to you. So Raghunath Das Goswami is saying that Sachinandan has given me your mercy. So that's why I'm able to reside near Govardhan and residing near Radhakund. So I'm his disciple, so please allow me. Even though I'm qualified or not qualified, still by the Lord Gauranga's mercy, I got the residence. So that's Raghunath Dasa Goswami, he is also saying. So now we finish the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Now we'll come to the Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur's Anuvriti, Amritavani. So same almost, I'll be reading mostly. So within Mathura Mandala, the forest of Vrindavan is the best because the Rasadan took place, with this we already saw, out of which pastimes, there was a discussion, in Vrindavan Lord did so many pastimes, so which was the pastime? So Rasa Leela. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eternal devotee Shri Rupa Goswami being fully conversant with the most elevated devotional sentiments within Gaurahari's heart, has described service to Sri Radhakund as the topmost. So this is Amritavani. Only the most fortunate live in the most sanctified place, Sri Radhakund, with a pure heart. This very much includes. So we worship Krishna 24 hours a day. Sri Radhakund is the topmost section of Goloka and most confidential place in the spiritual sky, and the only shelter for the devotees on the platform of Madhuri Rasa. So okay. So here this is a very nice description Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur is giving. Planets like Bhu, Bhuva and Swa are meant for ambitious householders. Grahasthas, when they leave this body, when they're pure, they attain this place. And above them are the planets like Maharjana, Tapa, Satya, and which are meant for celibates. So those are brahmacharis, they attain this Maharjana, Tapa, and Satya. Upakuran brahmacharis, grahasthas, live in Maharloka. Naishik brahmacharis attain Janaloka, Vanaprasthas attain Tapoloka, sannyasis enjoy in Satyaloka. The ecstatic spiritual abode of Vaikuntha is rarely attained even by liberated souls. So even though you're liberated, you cannot still, go to the pastimes of the Lord that easily. So Lord's devotees who are free from material desires at once attain the abode after leaving their material bodies. Mathura is superior to Vaikuntha, Vrindavan, the abode of Rasalila is superior to Mathura, Govardhan is superior to Vrindavan, and Radhakund is superior, is best of all. As the surrendered maid servant of Sri Radha, we have to constantly live on banks of Radhakund. So in the conception of Narayana, there is no existence of father or mother. So Narayana is unborn. But when that unborn Lord appears as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva in Mathura, he performed the pastimes of taking birth. So very clear. So the Lord of Vaikuntha is unborn. But since that unborn Lord, due to his inconceivable potency, manifested his pastime taking birth, his position as the Supreme Lord becomes more glorious. So that's why this it's important, because that unborn Lord appeared in Mathura, so it's even more glorious than Goloka. So that therefore Mathura is superior to Vaikuntha. So Lord Krishna appears in pure mind of the practitioner. That pure mind is also called Mathura. So this is very important point to understand that okay, it's not Mathura was it's one of the aspect in devotion service, but Srila Prabhupada tells wherever you worship Krishna with pure heart, that place becomes Vrindavan. That your mind will become Mathura. So that's the most practical thing. No, we should no. If we go no up here, no, if we stay in Holidam, we may commit so many offenses because we don't know the proper, we are not rightly situated. So better to be in Prabhu Datta Desh, better to be in our own place. So those who when even being in our place, we can when we think of Krishna 24 hours a day, so our mind becomes Mathura. So then Krishna appears. As Krishna took birth, he appeared in Mathura, so he will appear in our mind, Mathura, when we are pure. So Vrindavan, where Krishna enjoyed Rasa Leela, superior to Mathura, where Krishna took birth. So Sriman Rasarasarambhi Vamshi Vartatastitaha Karshan Venus Swaner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha. Sri Gopinath, who originated the transcendental mellow of the Rasa dance, stands on the shore in Vamshivata and attracts the attention of the cowherd damsels with the sound of his celebrated flute. May they all confer upon us their benedictions. So in Mathura, Krishna enjoys his pastimes as immature boy. In Rasa Leela arena, he's a mature boy. So that's the difference. So then there are so many things. Okay. Sri Govardhan, where Sri Radha Krishna's most confidential Aramas pastimes take place, is superior to Vrindavan. In his prayer, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is writing, who will not take shelter of Govardhan Hill, where the divine couple enjoy their rescue-free pastimes and where the Manasa Ganga flows. So again, Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, so Radha Kunda is superior to Govardhan because it is flooded with fully nectarian love of Sri Krishna. Sri Rupa Manjari, who understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's confidential intention, instructed that service of Radha Kund is the highest object of Gaur Hari's internal mood and is the ultimate goal of all service. So because Sri Rupa Goswami understood the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he is here explaining that. So service to Radha Kund, it's topmost seva. So then, may my very dear and fragrant Radha Kund, which for one who bathes in it immediately creates in the land of heart a desire tree of pure love, rare even among the Gopi beloveds of Lord Krishna and Vraja, be my shelter. In his 10th instruction, Sri Rupa Goswami has ascertained who among the devotees is the best. So this is 9th verse, tomorrow's 10th verse. So this is the link. So we saw the devotees. So who is we will see that gradations of devotees. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Piyush Varshini Tika. So this 9th verse informs us that Sri Radha Kund is the best among all worshipful places and all other points are already included. So Sri Radha Raman Das Goswami's Upadeshika Prakashika Tika. So the previous verse instructed us to perform bhajana while residing in Vraja. And this verse very clearly answers precisely where one should reside within the Vraja. So that was the link for the 8th verse and 9th verse. So where to reside in Vraja? Superior to Vrindavan, forest, Govardhan Hill, because Krishna playfully rested on, so because it playfully rested on Sri Krishna's lotus hand, and because there Krishna freely enjoyed many pastimes with his devotees. So Udara Pani of Sri Krishna, whose hand is mercifully disposed to bestow prema upon his beloved devotees. Okay, so then all above mentioned spiritual realms and locations where Sri Krishna performed pastimes or manifest from his internal potencies, Swarupa Shakti, and are therefore purely spiritual. However, Sri Radhakund is superior to them all because it manifests the highest display of the inherent variegated pastimes of Swarupa Shakti. So this ends the commentary of the Acharyas. So next, so here, one thing to understand, by following Srila Prabhupada, So Prabhupada has given us this treasure. Unless we had mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we could have not understand any of these things. So by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, so we are at present trying to understand some things of this higher things, higher knowledge. So we should strict ourselves with the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, following 16, chanting 16 rounds and following four regulative principles. So this is very important for us at present state, because we are doing sadhana bhakti. So when we improve ourselves, then we can understand. So unless we get this point that we should follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction and we should follow the Srila Prabhupada's path, so will not be able to understand the pastimes. No, we'll not be able to get the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So actually there is a very nice instance. What happened was that um, Srila Prabhupada, once they asked Prabhupada who could reside in Radhakund. So then Srila Prabhupada told that devotees like Raghunath Dasa Goswami, they can reside in Radhakund. Then Srila Prabhupada further says that, why devotees like Raghunath Dasa Goswami, they reside there. Why? Because it's mentioned here we should reside in Radhakund. But how to reside? Srila Prabhupada is saying that, Raghunath Dasa Goswami was taking only 1 cup of buttermilk every third day, and he was very skinny, and he was 24 hours he was chanting the holy name, and he didn't he didn't waver his mind anywhere, so just only in thoughts of Krishna. Such devotees can stay in Radhakund. So those who are willing to take 1 cup of buttermilk every third day can proceed. Otherwise we are not for that, because it happens. Tomorrow class will discuss, so many people, they reside in Radhakund, but they don't know value of that Radhakund. So but better we follow Srila Prabhupada, whatever he has given us the instructions. So because Raghunath Das Goswami is liberated, so he can do it, but we cannot imitate it. We should follow whatever he has given, but according to our stage, according to our level, we can understand it when the time comes. So, but we should follow Srila Prabhupada because Srila Prabhupada will guide us in every moment of our spiritual life. So, another time what happened was, devotees were speaking, Yamuna Mataji, she was asking Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, you said that if you want to know about the pastimes of Lord as Radha Krishna, if you want to know about the Vrindavan Leela and everything, so we should follow a Vrindavan devotee. If you want to know about particular rasa, you have to follow a particular devotee in that rasa. For example, she was quoting, let's say if you want to follow, if you want to develop that Vatsalya Bhav, so we have to follow the devotee who is in Vatsalya Bhav, like Yashoda Devi. So Srila Prabhupada said, yes, you should do that. But you cannot occupy their post. Srila Prabhupada told that. So you can develop that Vatsalya mood. You can develop Vatsalya mood, Dasya, Sakya, Madhurya. But we cannot become one of the Ragatmika devotees. So process is given, Raganuga, following their footsteps. Who? Ragatmika. So those devotees like Srimati Radharani, Yashoda Devi, Nanda Maharaj, they are all Ragatmika devotees. So we cannot occupy their post. We cannot become them. That is not impossible. So it's not there in the picture at all. So, but we can follow them. So if you want to develop that particular mood, so we follow a particular devotee. So that guru will tell, that first present time they should be following the guru. So Srila Prabhupada said, no, if you want to imitate, that is Mayavad. No imitation here. So we should follow them. So yeah, then there was another disciple called Revati Nandan Swami. So he asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you mentioned that you always live in Vrindavan. Wherever you go, you live in Vrindavan. So then Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, because I'm chanting the holy name, because Krishna is always with me, so I'm living in Vrindavan. Either I'm in London or in Los Angeles, anywhere, so I'm in Vrindavan. So can we conclude that, are we following a Vrindavan devotee? Because Prabhupada is in Vrindavan and we are following him, so they are confirming that no, we should, no, are we, no, can we confirm that we are also following a Vrindavan devotee? And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, you can do that. So that's the most blessed thing for us, that just we follow Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada has given everything, whatever for us to understand, whatever we can understand, Srila Prabhupada has given. So then Acharya has given, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Govinda Leelamrita. So there are so many immense of literature for us to understand the pastimes of the Lord. But before that, unless we understand the proper philosophy, Sambandha, then it's going to be Mayavad. So we are following a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. So when we stick to our path, not imagining ourselves as some big devotees, I achieved, Krishna came in my dream, this thing. So many sahajasam is there. We'll not be discussing all those. We'll be discussing in the last verse. So, not to cheat ourselves. No, we are not in that level. We know how much anarthas we have in the heart. So we should be careful enough to, speculate, these things and all. So better we follow Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulatory principles, read my books, understand the philosophy, and then preach this Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna will take us. So if we don't follow this, then no hope. Because Prabhupada was the only shelter for us. So he has told us, you follow this, for sure you will attain Krishna. So we should have faith in that. So I'll stop here. Any questions, comments? You can ask. Tomorrow we'll be discussing 10th verse, and day after tomorrow 11th, and then we are finishing Nectar of Instruction. Yes, bro. Ah. Ah. Yeah, even Krishna's birth is it's a pastime. He's not. It's not ordinary. So question is, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur mentions that here. Krishna, he does immature pastimes. He not sorry immature. 1 second, I'll just take the verse. As an immature boy. 1 second. It went bro? No, maybe it's down. No, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Here. So here the question is, in Mathura, Krishna enjoys his pastimes as an immature boy. In the Rasa Leela arena, he is a matured boy. So this we know from Acharya. Acharyas, they say, explain, Srila Prabhupada also explained, Krishna has 3 stages of his ages. First he is Kaishora, Kaumara. So this Kaumara pastime has happened, also in Vrindavan, but his birth, his appearance itself, it's a pastime. Not only he didn't appear simply. First he appeared in mind of Vasudeva, then he appeared in mind of Devaki. So then he exhibited his full, the full opulent form. Actually in Krishna book we see that, Lord is standing with Chaturbhuj form, then a small boy, Krishna is lying down. But it's not the description. Description is that Krishna, in the small boy form, he appeared with 4 hands. In 4 hands, he is like small boy with a crown, with a pitambara cloth, dhoti, so with kausduba jewel and everything, whatever description are given, but he is not in big form. So Krishna appeared in 4-hand form as a small boy, but when they prayed, when Devaki and Vasudeva prayed, so Krishna, you please, become, you appeared here to become our son, so please request our fulfillment. So then Krishna, what he did, he reduced his 2 of his hands. So then all the, this what happened. So Krishna appearance, it's also a pastime. So he did his pastime as an immature boy. He was like baby. Then in Rasa Leela, he was a mature boy, 16 years old, Navayovanam. Then after this, he remained Navayovanam. There is no more age for Krishna. So then after Rasa Leela, after killing comes up, Krishna didn't come to Vrindavan outwardly, but he was always with his gopis in Vipranamba Seva. So this is what the point. Understood. Any other questions? Okay. श्री उपदेशामृता की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि बोल।